Hi friends, my name is Becca and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time with us, I'm so glad that you are here. We focus on all things middle grade literature, specifically the first chapters of your favorite middle grade novels. Today we're going to be reading the first chapter of Just Right Jillian by Nicole D. Collier. We're going to start off by reading the front and side cover to get a little bit of an idea what this book is going to be about. Pip, unzip, escape. It's hatching season, and all of Jemison Elementary is buzzing about the arrival of the baby chicks. Soon the chicks will pip a hole in their shell, unzip the egg, and take their place in the world. For fifth grader Jillian, breaking out of her shell is much harder. Jillian is always too shy to raise her hand in class, even when she knows the right answer. Meanwhile, her nemesis, Rashida, is never afraid to speak her mind. As Jillian's grandma used to say, being shy is one thing, but hiding is something else. But now Grandma is gone, and Jillian is sick of being invisible. Her school's annual mind bender competition is the perfect way for her to come out of her shell. But only the outspoken and confident kids seem to do well. Kids like Rashida. How can Jillian ever compete? With the help of her best friend Marquez and some unexpected allies and life advice from the baby chicks, Jillian summons the courage to stand up to her fears and let herself be seen and heard. All right, let's dive on into that first chapter. Chapter 1 is titled Last Man Standing. It's all Rashida's fault. Well, my mama says don't say that. Never start a story with the other person, she says. But sometimes you gotta start with the other person to tell the story. Only this is not a story. It's the truth. Mama teaches women's leadership workshops. She says leaders look inside, so my problem isn't really with anyone out there. She makes you point at your imaginary problem. Then she makes a big deal about your other 3 fingers pointing back at you. I like that. I don't know about any of that, but I do know my problem is totally Rashida. She's my foe with a capital F. A foe is your opponent or your enemy. I'm not sure we're enemies, but it feels that way some days. Most days. Rashida's the smartest person in our school. Even smarter than some teachers, I bet. We were both in Mr. Gray's 4th grade class last year when Rashida was new to Jemison Elementary. Everyone thinks she's all that. She speaks crisply, as Mama would say. She pronounces all her letters, that kind of thing. Her long black twists are thick and shiny, no frizzes flying around. Her sister Valerie is like her twin, even though Valerie is a year younger. They dress alike, wearing skirts in invisible colors like beige, tan, blue, or gray. And it's not just them. All the girls blend in with each other. It's not a school uniform or a rule. Boring is just what's in these days, I guess. We all wear ponytails and colors that make you yawn. Unless you want to stick out like a sore thumb, you'd just go with the flow. Rashida and Valerie are the flow. They have smooth cocoa brown skin, no freckles, no zits, no braces, no glasses, nothing. They are perfect, a matching set, tall and graceful. On the other hand, there's me. I have a small gap in my 2 front teeth and little moles on my cheeks. Beige makes me want to vomit. But I wear it like everyone else. Rashida glides everywhere. I run across the field, down the hall, around the bases. Each day, my black-brown hair is frazzled and dusty by the end of recess. And Daddy tells me to stop swallowing my letters, only he hears it as swallowin', no G. So that's Rashida, and I guess me too. And now we're in the 5th grade. Miss Warren, Miss W, or Miss Dub for short, is our teacher this year, and she's different. She's younger, like a big sister or a cool auntie. But in some ways, she seems older, wise, like my Grandma Ruby. She wears her hair cut low, almost bald, and she has super cool earrings. She looks like a model. She's fun, but she doesn't take any foolishness from kids or anyone else. She wears these round glasses. They're gold. Have you ever seen a teacher wear gold glasses? They sparkle, and she can see everything when she puts them on. Everything and everyone, me included. Even though, if I'm being honest, sometimes I don't want anyone to see me at all. Today we played a math game. Sometimes Miss W makes us work on speed and accuracy with class competitions. Today's game was Last Man Standing. We should make up a new name because there's no men in our class. Just boys, girls, and Scotty, who doesn't like to be called either one. Here's how the game works. Miss W pulls 2 names from her cup. She calls out a math problem. Easy at first, but they get harder as we go. Whoever's quickest and accurate wins the round. Their name goes back into play. The other person is out. Everyone keeps working on the problems just for fun as Miss W goes to the next 2 people. She goes pair by pair at random until it's the last 2. The winner of that round is the last man standing, and she wins the whole thing. So we played, and finally it was down to us. Me versus Rashida, my sworn enemy, foe, or whatever. Guess what happened? I won. I beat Rashida. I finished working the problem while she scribbled the answer. I laid my purple pen on the desk with no fanfare. I floated my hands to the corner of the desk while everyone watched. But they weren't watching me. They were watching her because they knew she was going to win. Miss W hovered halfway between us, her eyes on Rashida too. I listened as Rashida's perfectly sharpened Ticonderoga pencil scratched across her paper. As usual, I kept my face down, kept my mouth shut. I did not put my hand up. I did not yell done. I did not do a single thing but grip my desk and disappear. I became invisible, like my shirt, like my desk, beige. Seconds ticked by like hours, and finally my foe, my opponent, Rashida, slammed her pencil down in relief as she yelled, "Done!" loud and proud, just like I should have, or could have, but didn't. I looked up to see what I already knew was true. Miss W peered over her golden glasses, checked Rashida's work, and nodded. You got it. You win. The winner gets chocolate. Not just one of those itty-bitty minis. Miss W gives out a fun size. Rashida reached into the huge bag of assorted treats and noisily swirled them around. She yanked out a Snickers, tore it open, and chomped on the end. Yum, she yelled in delight, the sweet taste of victory. She even flicked her gleaming ponytail. There was no such joy for me. No flick of the hair, no chomping on my chosen treat, no crunchy milk chocolate and caramel swirls. Instead, my throat was thick with envy. I couldn't swallow the lump. My classmates whispered and giggled as they put away their papers and began packing their bags. Miss W swept her eyes to me now. I pretended not to notice as I packed up my things. Before the last bell rang, she slid over to me and looked down, first at me, then at my paper. She saw the truth, the real truth. My correct answer, my silence. She made a noise that only I could hear. I tugged my ponytail, a twist, low and on the left like every other girl in 5th grade. She waited, and I let my eyes float up to meet her gaze. She pulled off her glasses, and her deep brown eyes asked me why. Why I didn't challenge Rashida after I promised myself I would. Why didn't I speak up? My eyes revealed nothing. They did not answer back. Instead, I blinked and looked away. The bell announced the end of school. I wouldn't have to explain myself this time. And what would I say? I let Rashida win because I'm too shy? I won, but to everyone else, me mostly, I lost. Again. Miss W dismissed us, and I rushed to the bus. All right, that was the first chapter of Just Right Jillian. I know this character is going to end up showing so much growth as this book goes on, and I cannot wait to be on this journey with her. If you enjoyed this novel, if you enjoyed this first chapter Friday video, please consider liking and subscribing so you can be notified every time there is a new First Chapter Friday Read Aloud available to you. All right, everyone, until next time, happy reading.